Richard D Wolff is Professor of Economics Emeritus at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. His educational background includes a BA in History from Harvard College, a MA in Economics from Stanford University, a MA in History as well as a PhD in Economics from Yale. He is a co-founder and contributor of Democracy at Work, a non-profit organization that promotes democratic workplaces as a key part of a transition to a better economic system. The New York Times Magazine has named him America's most prominent Marxist economist.
Let me be as extreme as I possibly can because I can't overstate this. The level of economic literacy here in the United States is abysmal. It is, I'm not surprised by what your wife says. It has nothing to do with her intelligence. It has nothing to do with her mental capability. It has to do with the fact that economics is either never taught to people or taught in a way where they get little fragments of something and never shown how to put it together. So they'll listen to the radio and the announcer will say, today the Federal Reserve raised the interest rates. So what? Why should I listen to that? Nobody explained to me ever what that means, why that happens, how it affects me, nothing. Let me get at it another way. If I have any success moving around the country giving talks in economics, which I do, it is because I am like a traveling minstrel who sings the songs people enjoy. I try to explain how the economic system these people live in, which currently threatens them, how it works, why it works this way, what it means. Many people could do that, but they don't. Schools could do it, but they don't. Government officials could do it, but they don't. So the question has to be asked, why not? What's the problem here? And again, I can't say this in a polite way. It's impossible. Economic education in the United States is not about explaining to people what's going on. It has a different function. It is designed to give people the idea that everything is under control, that you don't have to worry about it. This is a smoothly operating machine. This is, everything is taken care of. You should concentrate on yourself, get yourself educated, find a good job, do a good work at your job. In other words, the system as a whole is finished. It's a finished product. It's in great shape. Don't worry about it and don't bother us about it, is basically. Let me be very personal. I was educated at the most elite institutions in the United States. I went as an undergraduate to Harvard University. Then I got a master's degree in economics at Stanford University, and I finished my education at Yale University. So for me, I'm like a poster boy for the elite education. I was not taught how an economy works in these schools. I was taught to celebrate capitalism. There was no need to explore socialism or any alternative because this was the best, this was the finest, fullest achievement of human creativity in the way of economics. So just enjoy it. There's no need to understand it. So this is a way of ideologically controlling your population. This is a more effective way of getting your people to accept the system than by using punishment or by using threats of punishment. You know, here in the United States, we like to make fun of the old Soviet Union of pressurizing its people to believe. That was a crude and ineffective way to do what is done much better here in the United States. You are teaching people to either celebrate the system or to give up on it, because that's the other way, because it's so complicated. You don't really have to worry about it anyway, but it is so complicated. It is so difficult to understand. It takes so many years to, all of which is not true. But it was a very effective way to squelch the mass of people. But it has this flaw. It leaves people, like your wife, with a level of worry in the back of their mind. I don't really understand what's going on. I am frightened by what I occasionally see. I wish I understood it, which means that efforts like mine and like yours are very, very important. That's part of why I'm here, because training people to begin to understand that they can understand this material, that if given half a chance, they can grasp what's going on. It isn't that complicated. It really isn't. Here's a joke we make in the United States. What is a lawyer? The answer to this joke is a lawyer is a person who has been trained to take very simple ideas and write them up in a language nobody can understand. So that when you need to solve a problem, a disagreement with another person, an injury that has been caused by one to another, you open the book about the laws and you can't understand it because the language is so difficult. Which means you have to hire a lawyer who translates that language back into the simple ideas that it was at the beginning. And he has to do that because otherwise you'd never hire him. You'd figure it out yourself. Economics is exactly the same thing. We have trained generations of economists like me to be able to talk about this in a language nobody can understand or follow, to make sure that the public speakers copy this same arcane language, so that you have to pay us to help to tell you what's going on, which you can't evaluate anyway because no one has given you the wherewithal to do that. And so part of what the left has to do in the world now is to respond, and it's the right moment because capitalism isn't working very well for the mass of people. It threatens their homes, it threatens their jobs, it threatens the children's future. People want now to know, and we, those who are critical, are in the best possible position to answer that need.